What is going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Crossout. We got some testing to do today because there is one thing in this game that is bothering me a bit right now, and that's the Aegis. Because at one point it's a very, very freaking good item. There we go, the Aegis. But then it just feels wrong because when you play Clan Wars, you meet a lot of people who use the shield, but they use two of them. And that's just a hard thing to fight. Like a dual Aegis hover, usually running Helios as its weapons, is freaking strong. It's so goddamn strong. So we've been discussing back and forth in my clan what the best counter to the Aegis actually is. So that is what we are looking at today. We got a few different weapons that we're gonna run through. The first weapon will be the Tsunami. Then we got the Executioner, Pulsa, Scorpion, Phoenix. We're gonna test the Phoenix in two ways: on the shield and when you shield just before it blows up. Then we have the Aurora to check if that actually heats the shield to make it like go away faster than the Reaper. And then we want to check the Reaper with an Aurora just to see if there's any difference. And then we have the Incinerator and the Draco, because those two are both fire weapons, and we want to see how fire actually penetrates through the shield. Like if someone stays on top of a fire pool, will they take burn damage? And also, when you get a direct hit from the Incinerator, will it actually create a fire puddle, or will everything just go away? We don't know that right now, so we want to test that. And then last of it, we have the Aspect and the Spike crossbow to see if the Spike actually, like, do you get that physical pushback that the Spike usually applies to you, which is the funny and also the strong thing about the Spike. You know, you can really flip light builds if you run a dual, triple Spike build. So those are the things that we're checking today. So I hope you will enjoy this video and actually learn something from it. And if you don't, just know that I've probably learned quite a lot once we are actually done with this video. But let's just get into the test. So there we go, we got two Tsunamis going now, and from what I've heard, and this is why I'm so curious about this one, is, oh, we have to find them taken. I didn't think about this. Maybe we should do another game mode. But the thing is, alright, we meet up at center, all good. What I want to test with the Tsunami, like what I'm so curious about, is to see how much damage do you actually have to deal, because you don't really know the numbers of how much you've actually hit. In my opinion, they should have some sort of a damage indicator to, you know, still show the damage, but maybe show it as blue damage, and then some sort of a, like, brackets on the end that says absorbed damage or something like that. Maybe just absorbed, just something that lets you know that some of your damage was partly soaked up. That would be super cool. We're sitting on a slope here, so we're never gonna get the Tsunami charge. Here we are, the Tsunami's already charged up. He shields, blasted away, and there goes the shield. So you see, we actually dealt 0 damage to him, but the funny thing is that we still flipped him. And he says absolutely no damage to his car, so that just means that he absorbed it all. And the interesting thing is here also, how much damage does actually go to waste? Like, does the shield absorb 750? We dealt, let's just say 900. But the rest of the damage was soaked up. Because he flipped and the shield took the damage. Where does the rest of the damage go? It would be nice to actually get to know this more. I feel like the Aegis is a really good thing for the game. It's a nice thing to actually challenge how we play, but it just feels so non-worked through. Next thing we want to do here is just to hit that little front part there on his build. Oh my goodness, I have to get far back here. I'm thinking, can you go on a slope, because my gun depression is messing with me. Like over here would be good. Alright, so we're gonna hit the small front part thing there. We did 21 damage, so let's go see what we actually did to him. Right, so we took off the decor. This is interesting. We hit the green thing on the front of his build, and we took off that stuff. And also we took off the decor item that he had sitting there, which was mounted to the back frame. So that means that you hit the front part, and then all of the AoE damage, all of the splash damage goes into the shield. So if you hit something outside, you will still deal full damage to the other side of the shield, which is somewhat interesting. But this rounds up the Tsunami. A full charge Tsunami shot. We need to test one more thing. A full charge Tsunami shot will remove the shield, but will a non-charge Tsunami shot also remove the shield? Let's test that now. So let's see. There we go. My guns are ready. There we go. The shield is up. And as you can see, a non-charged Tsunami shot will not remove the shield. Nice to know if you are fighting an Aegis player. So without further ado, let's go to the Executioners. We're not going to test the damage on the shield too much, because I don't really care about that. The interesting thing about the Executioners is, do I deal damage through his shield, like on the other side of the shield, or does it just absorb like all of the damage? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shoot above the decor item. I'm going to shoot right above the decor item to make sure that I do not hit the green part. We want the shield to absorb the damage, and like when it absorbs the damage, hopefully the damage will be spread out. See? Nothing at all. So the Executioner does definitely not penetrate the Aegis in any way. So the second test here, we just had to redo a few things. So let's go ahead and see if the how big the penetration is if we hit some part outside of the Aegis. 8 damage. Okay, so we literally only strip that one little bit of frame here there. So not a lot of penetration indeed, and that pretty much sums up the Executioner. No penetration through the shield. Standard penetration if you hit the green thing. And then, yeah, like he says, that's actually pretty interesting, because as far as I know, the Executioner has a bigger like penetration damage than the Tsunami, or penetration range, simply because the Executioner penetrates around 2.5 blocks before it even explodes. So definitely this explosion happened outside of the Aegis, which is, like Untaken says, very, very strange. What if I hit the ground? Let's try that as well. So basically I hit the ground outside of the shield. Oh wow. Definitely sent him flying, but no damage at all whatsoever, which is, that's so strange actually, to be honest. That's so strange, because the Executioner is the cannon, the limited firing angle cannon with the biggest like AoE, because it has the like penetration. So when I hit that first block, it should have at least taken off as much as the Tsunami did. Third weapon is the Pulsa. I think I actually want to here start off like by just driving far away. Just get really far away, and then try to hit Untaken and see what happens. Like if he just, the theory is that maybe the blast damage will still apply. So if he's really far away, he Aegis, but since he's far away from me, my pulses will deal a larger AoE because of the perk. So let's try that. I am gonna fire my guns toward him, and then let's see if he is ready with the shield. There they come. Nope, no damage at all. And we can also note that the pulsers do indeed not deal enough damage to remove an Aegis in just one shot. Next thing we want to do here again is try to aim for that green thing, and I'm just gonna like see if I can sit my aim there on it, knowing where it is. They then fall back a bit. Let's just, I don't think I dare to take it any further than this. Let's just put it right here. Okay, so I'm ready. I'm gonna fire my guns. 8 damage. So indeed not a lot. Sounds like we only hit the first frame. Yep, only the green one gone. So something tells me that there might actually be something about the AoE damage only applying outside of the shield. It's hard. It's super hard for me to actually confirm this, because we don't know for sure. This is all testing, and this is as far as my capabilities of testing goes. So it's rather hard to define like specifically, but these tests at least show something, and then it's up to you guys to decide if you wanna believe it or not. Let's try to fire from the ground and see if we actually deal AoE to him. So I'm gonna fire those. Nope, absolutely no damage once again. So what we know for now is that, first of all, Tsunamis can remove the shield in one shot. Tsunamis deal quite a lot of AoE inside the shield if we hit something outside the shield. Executioner and Pulsa though, do not seem to deal any damage inside the shield when you hit something outside the shield. That's triggering in my brain. What do you guys think? While you stumble upon that, I'm gonna switch to the next weapon, the Scorpion. Alright, so we got the Scorpions this time, and first off, I'm just gonna fire them into the shield, but down enough to actually hit those decor items, if the Scorpion does penetrate. So let's try this. We actually dealt like 5 damage, but I don't know if we hit the frame. Quite interesting, but nothing missing. That's probably the most important thing to note about that shot. Now let's try to go for the green one here first. I'm just gonna go back a bit and see if we actually penetrate through the build now. So the Scorpion, if you hit something outside the shield, you will definitely penetrate all the way through. As you can see, we took off those 4 frames were like 2, 4, 5, 6 blocks in total, and as we know, the Scorpion penetrates 7 blocks. Let's just try the shield once more, because I want to see if we can actually penetrate through to his cabin or something like that, because we did a little bit of damage. Nope. Definitely no damage there. He still got hit by the impulse, but no damage. So, the Scorpions, if you hit something outside, you will penetrate all 7 blocks. If you hit something from the inside, like if you don't hit anything outside, but you just hit the shield and hope to deal damage inside the shield, you're not going to deal any damage. The Phoenix this time. Two things I want to see here. First of all, I really want to know with the Phoenix, if the Phoenix will just go away if we hit a shield. Like, will there be no Phoenix? Where will it go? Does it despawn? Does it explode instantly? What's going to happen? And then the next thing I want to see about the Phoenix is, just like all of them, if we hit that frame, like that button thing, will it explode inside the shield as well? And then lastly, I want to see what happens if I hit an Untaken and then he shields afterwards. Alright, so let's go ahead with the first test here and just fire him into the Aegis. So they instantly explode. Interesting. Now let's try to throw them on the green piece. Alright, I'm gonna stick him on the green thing there. He shields. What happens? We only did damage outside the shield. There's definitely something going on here by now, we can surely say. Some weapons deal damage outside the shield, some weapons also penetrate through the shield. This is weird. But let's try to throw them on his cabin, and then let's see what happens if he shields afterward. There we go. Onto his cabin, he shielded. And we did full damage inside the Aegis. Alright, so now we got the Aurora, and we got some Reapers going. First I want to just fire the Aurora into the shield and see if it heats the shield. Then next we're gonna fire the Reapers, wow. the Reapers on the shield and see how quickly we take it down. And then lastly we're gonna fire the Aurora onto the shield, and then see if the shield will actually go like significantly faster down than with just the Reapers. I know that the the Aurora will deal damage to the Aegis, so we have to consider that. Fire the shield. Does not look like it heat. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna fire the Reapers into the shield and see how quickly it goes away. Then we're gonna fire the Aurora onto as well, and then we're gonna see what happens. Oh my god, that just absolutely tosses him away. I did not really calculate for the for the knockback. But let's see if we can do it somewhat with the Aurora as well, and then let's see if we can actually feel a difference, because we didn't take off the shield at all. So let's try it again. Good idea to stack up on the wall there. Yeah, you see that? No real difference. We still didn't even pop the shield. It just went away by itself, it felt like. So the Aurora is not going to do any difference for the shield whatsoever. And the Reapers, just in general, don't really do that much damage. We can't even remove the Aegis before it runs out. So the next weapon will be the Incinerator, and we're going to test two things here. First of all, I'm going to just shove a couple of them into the face of Untaken, just to see what actually happens. Do they go away? Will they leave a fire puddle? What will happen? Next up, I'm going to like throw some to the ground, and then Untaken will shield and actually drive into the fire. And see if he takes damage or if he's just completely shielded from the fire. So I'm ready. Go ahead and launch the shield. There we go. Bang. We hit him. But there's definitely fire damage afterwards. And even though he's shielded, he's still taking damage. So what that tells us is that the Aegis will definitely block the initial hit. Like, you know, the Incinerator has two things to it. The initial throw, when I go ahead here, and if I hit Untaken, you can see I will deal quite a significant amount of damage. Bam. Not really, because it's in such a tiny build. But 66 cabin damage on that first one. So definitely more than the burn damage. Let's try the next thing. So what we're doing here, just for good measures, is that I'm just gonna lay some Incinerators on the ground, and then he shields and drives into them. I think we can already tell from that first test what will happen, but this is some next level myth busting in Crossout, so we might as well just test everything so we don't leave a lot of stuff untested. Even though you guys will probably just look at me and be like, this is stupid, why are you even doing this? But here we go. Lay down some Incinerators. There we go. Shield, he drives into it. Yup, there's the damage. So basically there's no way to counter the fire damage if you play versus an Incinerator. Interesting. Knowing that, let's move on to the Draco. So we're gonna do two things here again. First of all, I'm just gonna sit outside the shield and then try to heat him up. And then the second of them, I'm just gonna stick my, like, just boop, poke my Dracos through the shield and see if we can actually damage him. So let's try the first test here. No damage at all. He is, oh wow, just fine. Nothing happened to him at all. Interesting. So next one, I'm just gonna, you know, line up myself here so that the Dracos will definitely be inside the shield, like this. There we go, without the rest of the build actually being inside. And then let's test and see if we can actually damage if our self is sitting inside of it. There we go. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? That's some damage right there for you. That's some damage. So that definitely does deal damage to Untaken if he has the shield up, which was sort of expected because it is like inside the shield after all, and you're never safe in there. The last thing we want to test is now knowing, not the last one, the second to last one, is knowing that the Reapers can actually, where's my aspects? Why can't I see the aspects? There we go. If the aspects can actually outdamage dual Reapers when it comes to removing the shield, so here we go, 3 aspects, let's test it. Alrighty, let's fire at that shield, see what happens. Do not feel like we took that shield down at all. So I don't think the aspects will actually be able to either. It all sort of depends on if you like. The aspect is sort of hard because it depends on whether or not you can keep your guns like close to 50 like I'm doing right now, or if you drop a little bit. I feel like we were pretty close. Just for good measures, we're testing with the radiator as well, just to see if that makes any difference at all. So I'm gonna keep the guns at 40%, and then when he pops the shield, I'm gonna just like blast him full on. So let's try this. Nope. We're definitely not gonna pop that shield. Definitely not gonna pop that shield. Alrighty, so let's just go for the last one, the spikes, just to see what they actually do to a shield. We got the quad spikes loaded up. I think we all know the answer to what is actually gonna happen, but why not just test it? Just to be sure. We can always hit the green frame as well, just to see if this one actually will penetrate beneath the shield, which is interesting. But let's just start out by seeing what 4 spikes actually does. Can we still blast him out of the sky even though he has a shield? Let's try. Oh my, that was so much speed. But As you can see, he's pretty much undamaged. So let's just look at that green thingy there for the last shot and see what happens. 8 damage. 8 damage again. So only the green one gone. We might have done everything wrong here. I don't feel like we have. But something just does not add up. Like the Pulsa, which has a goddamn amazing explosion radius from range, only managed to take off the green thing. Tsunami's managed to test, like, remove something again. Like all of these bits right there as well. They were just stripped away. But the Pulsar did nothing. And also the Executioner, which has a big area of explosion as well, did nothing. I'm confused. You know what? Like on Taken Set, let's just test the Tsunami and the Pulsar one final time just to make sure. So for the final Tsunami test, this time we only removed the green bit. I know for sure that we hit it directly. So what the frick happened last time? This definitely requires further testing, so I'm just gonna sit here and try to shoot the ground. Oh shit, I'm falling down because I'm too heavy. There we go. Alright, I'm all good. So let's hit the ground right there. Definitely no damage. How did we deal that extra damage to him before? There's something sketchy about this, guys. If you know what happened, and if you have an idea of what happened, definitely do leave a comment down below. So the Pulsar test and all that shit, that was legit. That worked the way it was supposed to work. Something happened on that Tsunami shot, and I can tell what it is. So if you guys know, yeah, let me know in the comments. So there you have it, boys. That's a pretty light version of weapon testing on the Aegis shield, just to make me clever and bring you along on the sideline to also hopefully educate you guys just a tiny bit on what the Aegis is like and why I definitely feel like the goddamn Aegis should be reworked and limited to just one. Devs, please, just do something about it. It's not that toxic at the moment because there's not a ton of people doing it, but the teams you meet, they know how to use it and they know how to also, in my opinion, abuse it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the double Aegis meta at the moment on Hobbits with Helioses. And until next time, have an awesome day. Bye.